What's up guys, it's your boy Mr. K back with another video. Hope you're all doing well. Today we'll be reviewing the JVC LT-40CA890 Android TV. I'll be sectioning this video into 5 parts: specs, pros, cons, improvements, and then my overall conclusion of this device, to see if it's actually worth purchasing this in 2021 or should you actually just save your money. But before we get into the main video, I'd just like to say please consider liking and subscribing and supporting the channel, because my goal for December is 200 subscribers and I really appreciate if you guys could support me to this goal. But nevertheless, let's get into the main video. So starting off with the price of this device, it's £260 to £280, so it is on the budget side of TVs. It's a 4K Ultra HD TV and it's 3840 by 2160p for the actual resolution of this device. The screen right behind me is actually 40 inches, but there is variations of the exact same TV just on an expanded scale, and this is the 43 inch, the 50 inch, and there is another one, but they're pretty much the exact same device, just slightly larger. It has a 50 Hz motion rate, so this is basically frames per second. And this information is mostly used for gaming and stuff like that, but I'll get into talks about gaming a little later. It has Bluetooth 5.0, so this is one of the fast connections of Bluetooth that's updated, and you typically use this to connect to an external speaker, whatever other external devices that you need to connect to Bluetooth that can't be plugged in straight to the TV. It has built-in smart features like any other newer 4K TVs, such as any Samsungs or anything like that. This device has built-in Wi-Fi and smart features. I'll go into more detail about that a little later. 4 HDMI ports, 1 USB port, and it weighs 9.2 kilograms, so it's actually a fairly light device for the amount of inches. But nevertheless, let's get into the positives. Although 50 Hz is something that you typically don't associate with gaming, when I game on this, it's actually very clear and runs smoothly, and occasionally even better than my monitor. I'll put up the monitor video up here somewhere, and I typically see no problems with gaming with this product. It's actually a very clear system and I see no problems with doing this. The next positive is that the audio actually gets very loud. It gets so loud to the point where you might actually feel bad for your neighbors that they might actually hear it, because it can just get that loud. Unfortunately, it actually doesn't have a lot of bass though, and there's no EQ, so there's no way you can actually increase it without actually purchasing an external speaker which actually provides bass. But if you're just a typical TV user, nothing, it's just to chill in the sitting room, you really and truly actually shouldn't have a problem with this. Normal TVs don't even have loudspeakers anyway, so you just should be appreciative that even a loudspeaker inbuilt in the system in the first place. Furthermore, now let's talk about the price of this device. This price has dropped from $300 when I purchased it to now $280, which is actually a £20 drop, and this is actually great for people that are looking for a budget 4K TV, because there's actually not a lot of good quality TVs on the market that actually have 4K and smart features enabled, and this is actually an amazing feature to have while still being under a £300 budget. And now let's get into the final positive of this device. The final positive of this device is easy to actually use and use the smart features of this device. There is actually 4 inbuilt smart features that are actually on the controller. This is Amazon Prime, YouTube, Netflix, and Google Play, and I actually tend to actually use these because these are pretty much the only apps I use on the TV. And of course you can include more and install them, such as Disney Plus, Crunchyroll, any other applications that require streaming can be installed on it. And this actually was so cool because it actually made my life so much easier than searching through settings for 5 minutes to actually look for Netflix or something. The fact that it's on the controller just makes it so much easier for me to watch a movie without going through it and just getting lost in the vast amount of settings that there actually is. But now it's time for negatives. Things I didn't like about this JVC TV. The first negative is the fact that this controller is absolutely terrible. 7 out of the 10 times that I actually use this controller, it doesn't work. It doesn't register the fact that I'm pressing the button, and I have to get up out of my seat and go closer. And sometimes even that doesn't work, which is quite annoying. And usually I end up twisting up my arm like this, which is just inconvenient. And then it eventually works. But it's just a very tiresome thing, and I'd like them to improve on this in the future, because this is really annoying for when I just want to watch a movie and not trouble with my controller for about 10 or 15 minutes. The next negative is something that I personally have not experienced, but I know that it is a general problem with JVC TVs such as this. People say that this TV is faded and get faded TVs where the colors such as pink, purple, they're not as vibrant and don't have the vibrancy that other TVs have. I personally have not experienced this. I feel like this TV is one of the most vibrant TVs I've seen. The color tone is just perfect. It's actually a clear problem, but I must have just been lucky with the system I purchased. But now it's time for the final negative before we go into improvements. The final negative is the fact that, of course, the JVC did need to cheap out on some of their products because it's under £300 and it's a 4K TV. Of course, they needed to cheap out on some things. Basically, this TV is made out of mostly plastic and a little bit of metal, so it's not as high quality and high standard as £500 4K TVs. But I personally have not broken it yet or seen any damages, but I would still recommend being careful because it is made out of mostly plastic. But now it's time for the improvements of this device. What I'd recommend them to change in the next generation of JVC TVs. Unfortunately, when I load up Netflix and Amazon Prime and any other shows, it is quite slow and there is quite a delay. Not when the actual control doesn't work. When it actually works and loads up, there's just quite a long delay. So if they could actually speed that up, it would actually improve the experience of using a JVC TV just that little bit more. But now it's conclusion time. In conclusion, I would actually highly recommend this product. This is a great budget 4K TV, which also has smart features that allows you to use YouTube while on a TV, and it just feels much better than using an average TV. But nevertheless, it's been your boy Mr. K. Remember to like and subscribe, support the channel, and yeah, bye.